helping us and helping ourselves together. In fact, it is helping ourselves because this organization is not created by some tribe or for some reason, for some region, but it is for the whole world. We thank everyone. Now, to make it short, we can go to this United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It has been, I can read a few from here instead of speaking from myself, because that is authoritative here. Resolutions adopted by the General Assembly 61 to 95. United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. The General Assembly that was held on 13 September 2007. In the General Assembly, what they have agreed is like this. Guided by the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations and good faith in the fulfillment of the obligations assumed by states in accordance with the Charter, affirming that indigenous people are equal to all other people. Equal to all other people. Because here we are treated as not equal. In India, there are Chatur Varna here. Is it not so? So, for the tribes people, we are in the lowest according to them. They cannot eat anything from us, including even the Ahom people. From the hands of the Ahom, the Brahmin do not take drink water. It is written in the census report in 1991. Yes, not 1991. 1911. 1911. It is written. So those inequalities should be removed. That is what the United Nations want. While recognizing the right of all peoples to be different, to consider themselves different, and to be respected as such. We are different here. We are not equal to those Aryan people. We are not like Negro people, or we are not like Caucasian. But we are actually Mongolian people, and among Mongolians we have several tribes. So affirming also that all peoples contribute to the diversity and richness of civilizations and cultures, which constitute the common heritage of mankind. If I read everything here, it will be too long. The articles totally, there are 46 articles here. In Article 33, in 33 and 32, 32 is important, Article 32. Now, Assam government says that exploitation of sand, coal, stones, everything will be done by the government of Assam. No? It is being done already. But here in Article 32, it says indigenous peoples have the right to determine and develop priorities and strategies for the development or use of their lands or territories and other resources. Resources, that is coal, sand, sand and stones, trees, everything. It should be managed by ourselves, it is said. Article 32. Now, Assam government is doing against Article 32 already. And Article 33 says, indigenous peoples have the right to determine their own identity or membership in accordance with their customs and traditions. This does not impair the right of indigenous individuals to obtain citizenship of the states in which they live. We are Indian citizens. There should be no hindrance against us for obtaining Indian citizenship just because we have our own culture. We have pressed this one for so hard so that when the parliamentary committee came to Guwahati, it was a very peculiar way it was done. I do not know. I think they wanted us to prevent us to get the opportunity to meet them. So they gave, I think it was February 2, I think, February or March 2. The meeting was to be. Then they held on first, one day ahead. Somehow we came to know. I came to know from Tripura. The people from Tripura, they rang me up. That it is not 2, they are going to hold on first. They have changed the date. So on 2 we went. And then again, the meeting was to be held at 2 p.m. But they held the meeting at 10. See, somehow we arrived after the closing of the doors. And so we had to wait outside the door up to 12 p.m. And we handed over our memorandum. Our memorandum is that we do not want the panchayats of the general people, the Aryan people. That is Article 243. We do not want part 2, I think. Part 2 chapter, I forgot the name, the chapter. That is not applicable to us. It is written in Article 243A. It is written that the panchayat of the Aryan people is not applicable in 6th scheduled area, or in Nagaland, or Meghalaya, or in Gurkhaland. It is written there. So we have submitted that our servant camp for Karbi, for Kuki Tulsong Waisa, I do not know, I have requested the Kuki people several times to give us the detailed one so that we can place it in front of the government. They have been unable to give us the detail. So whatever I knew, I said Tulsong Waisa. So Tulsong Waisa must be recognized. Then I requested the Dimasa people to give us the details of their traditional village council. They could tell us only Salayaro. And afterwards they say it is not Salayaro. It is, what is that? Naiso Hoysakho or something like this. This is the one. But meanwhile I have already submitted to the government of India. And so in the government of India, we have seen in the internet, it is Tulsong Waisa and Servan Cap, Tulsong Waisa and Salayaro. It is written there. Whether this will be included in the constitution amendment or not, we do not know. But in the proposal itself, I saw somewhere there. It is there. Now, for the Kuki people, the Mar people, and Dimasa and the Rengma people, we do not know. So it is Injang Tirupunyu Somsadwen or something like this. And then Siam people, they have got Mukpom Chauban. And then Khasitu they have already, Dorbar no, they already have. There is no problem. They have even made codified the law is there. For them there is no problem. So for us, this is the problem. The United Nations has given us the right to have this, but we are still unable to submit it properly, placed before the government. Now I request all the tribes again to submit directly to the government, here means government means Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council. But if the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council, if they do not know how to handle, I think it will just remain there. So if they submit us, we will be able to send to the government, to the central government. This matter, an autonomous state when I attended the United Nations Assembly of the Indigenous People in 2018, I submitted a paper, a short one, because they said that it should be very short. I took it a long one, so we had to rewrite them. It is signed by myself and then Mr. Morningstar Sumer and Mr. Bosumatari. Three of us we signed and wrote about Karbi people and all other tribes and autonomous state, and also for the Khasi people and for the Boro people. We submitted together a joint memorandum there. At that time only, they gave us this one, and then it is there in the internet, of course. This is there in the internet, but we have reprinted it so that everybody will be able to read it whenever they like. And at that time only, I have brought this from New York, from UNO office. I purchased this flag. It is too small, of course, for general people, but it is brought from New York, whatsoever from UNO office itself. Now, when we want to say that we must have our own, we will have to fight as per law. Itungge law thing si chetani, itungge tang si claim nangi pusita law thing si chetani. Law thing pen people te lake government tungge kache hok lu bala tungge. Itung hanang nek rui po nang beng rui lai nang pe nang pang samri. They wanted to arrest me, and so the SP put up file to the deputy commissioner about 3 years ago. 5 times he had put up the file to arrest me under NSA, because they say that I was the one who instigated to burn down all the buildings and all on 31st July 2013. 31st July 2013. They said that I am the person. SP scolded me like anything. Just think. SP scolded me like this. And then they wanted to kill me. So at night I had to run away. Run away when somebody informed me. Secret service people informed me. We also have some kind of secret service. And so they informed me. At night I had to run away from home. In 2015, I think, 2015, 2014 or 15. Then again, I had to run away. 3 times I had to run away from home because they wanted to kill me. Then once they shot me, they shot at me, my Bolero glass is still broken. So, this kind of thing. If they say that I was the one who was doing all this burning, I said I am not the person. See, in 2013, I was still in Guwahati. Of course, I contested election in 2011, but after that, I remained in Guwahati. So I said that, no, you are the person. Although you are in Guwahati, but it is you who have done it. He told me like that. One day, SP Mohanto, I can say also. That's how it happened. And that they put up file to arrest me under NSA. NSA, do you know? Once it is arrested, for 2 years they'll kill you just like that, without hearing anything. And perhaps they will give us poison and they will die there. That is what they were planning. So I submitted my own report to the government of Assam to be sent to the government of India. They refused to send. It remained in Guwahati. So I went to Delhi myself. I submitted the report that I am not the person. I have not done anything like this. They said that Sombijit Inki Kathar lived with me for 3 years. They said, and I am the chief advisor of Sombijit Inki Kathar. That's what they reported. And they discussed about this in police conference. In one police conference, they discussed about it. And so, they wanted to kill me. But that is the reason. Even if I did not do any illegal thing, they wanted me to appear that I have done all this illegal thing. Now, if we do some illegal thing, it is their government is very happy. They will just arrest us and then put us. Now, Hagrama cannot speak so much. Why? Because he has got something. So he has to keep quiet. And our own UPDS people, they cannot speak out because they have got something they have already done. It is for our people, they thought, they believe, and we also thought like that. But those things are turned against us now. The gun which was turning towards this is now turning towards this. Now, by through law, through legal system. And now legal system also, as Mr. Thiek has already said, our legal system has been, we have already surrendered. We do not have our own legal system now. But in the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, it is said that we are allowed, we must have our own law. It is written here. Our own court, our own law. Itu emethang law, emethang court si donani pusi la United Nations Declaration of Indigenous Rights of Indigenous People along the kachetong dulu. Itu methang law donani pulo. Ben dota dulu amat itu cewan pit law non ke ha district judge along si dam nang ko judicial court along under CRPC itu dam nang ko nang ke. Opini pula tu police along lagi dam nang ko. Ladak itu basic dola tenge nang tu methang police tatu tami pada ketok. Under chapter I think paragraph 4 we can have our own police. Paragraph 4. Paragraph 4 no. Paragraph 3. Paragraph 3 itself. EFG, there we can have our own police. Village police, of course, not that they do not say about the police equal to the police of Assam. It is not like that, but village police they can have. Those rights also we have surrendered. Now we say that we must be very strong to fight. Now our BJP is very strong already. Here. All MP, MLA, CEM, EM, all BJP, they are very strong. But they cannot do anything. So, the question is, popular there. Kang tang pusona kang tang abang lo pinamji. In tang wala rama, itum ang right ang nachihoday tung tuet abang ma. Kalau te itum ang right kipon dia pan kacik kandun. Ini kitidun una bang kang tang ni ma. Neli CM handap lo aho nang ligi tang pilu. Nang li matalo CM MP MLA ini tu ku matedi. MP MLA ta itu long ani tu ke la opposition tu. Ai itu intang ko madi. Nang bang intang lu. Hang du ni ta sakta. La pot kang tang ni ko na bang lo. La hello non ke. Who should be strong, on which ground should be strong. Now the BJP is very strong in Karbianga, but they cannot keep even our land. They cannot keep even the law to control our own coal, our own sand, and our own stones. Now the government of Assam is doing, and not only that, the administration, it will be handed over to Deputy Commissioner. BTC they have already handed over. In BTC along ke, haladake officer atau engineer atau suti damji, pini suti damji puta, DC along si dam damji, CMEM along dam kamel. Ni hem dam register kita hadi, DC along si dam damji, CMEM tu thang cingdel. CM tu apa executive engineer pancuri pun apa tak? Mau berobat semua satu buat itu pun nanti. Ay, tu berapa persen itu? Isi berapa itu? Kilo. Hei tu position hei kalau itu itu. Ada CM ni panang tangan, ini tu DC panci pijak tu. Ni itu plus oppose dulu. Lagi DC panci nanti. We have opposed this proposal. We have submitted memorandum. Others have not, no one has submitted except APHLC till now. I request all others also to submit. Because if the administration is handed over to DC, that means it is handed over to the government of Assam. DC is the government of Assam, is it not so? In the district, DC is the government of Assam. DC upon C is Chief Minister RUG. Now, Nanglihana Kosonlo to RUG. Every day we talk to Chief Minister when we were DC. Every day and several times we talk to the Chief Minister. Sir, something is like this. Eneka hoise sir, eneka koribo korile bhal hobo sir. Hobo. Chief Minister to bola siri to eke. Lasi no kisi aban pidek no pulote lake Chief Minister apan si pilo lagi. No people Borolen ke Chief Minister DC apan pidek no Chief Minister apan pidek. Non konarno lasi arni si boro tu na telepon menangkan. Non ke promote boro ibu bek kok dulu nana. Alami dam boyna, indom boyna. Kan alami apa itu? Assam government is provide. Lasi hedi itu right ke tunang pilo. Sini lo setai itu right ke NTR. Itu sixth schedule. In the sixth schedule, the strongest and the foundation is the making of the law under paragraph 2 subparagraph 7. Because this is the fundamental law for establishing the autonomous council. Now we have not made the law. We went to the court, High Court. High Court also passed an order in favor of us that the law should be made. But the council, they have not made it now. Now, more than 2 years gone, they have not made. And instead of making, they are conducting election under Panchayat law. Panchayat law is UPDS people have signed under paragraph 2.5 that the election will be conducted by State Election Commission. We could not understand. Oh, State Election Commission bhalhobo. It is sub-judicial too. It is sub-judicial to itu bhalhobo. High Court judge di sini apa? Court judge apa itu? Mau ada amir dan tiga apa itu? Nah, kumana IAS officer mah minister dong kata Arifa kapitne ne bang Hanjira Commissioner State Election Commission for appointment. Kacalak ne bang ha. Induk kacalak ne religion ko ba. Apan appointment jadi amene tu bedet ko. Amene tu bedet ko. Hala bang pilo ma religion project director ke jopon ho. As India government suno langsung akan ke bang aku kurianta ke pura renovate etra naga ok pangren pik ni atheban no ke on Roberdes langa ok ke tuwe kuliya langa ok pangren pik ni apa pur pukuri put pik ni amar pilo alami report pilo aki ko lamang si report pik nang ko ama alami ta report pilo pukuri itu an adang ke alami district ada part sebelah ini loh pukuri adang है alami ya district apa hal pukuri adang ke sebelah alami report itu macam mana pilo alami council state election commissioner का appointment itu last tahun minister lepas and the state election commission के लगे पंचायत law under article 243K पंचायत law paragraph 1 से लगा के चला हर दाग पूरा पंचायत law 1994 under पंचायत law 1994 this पंचायत is being established and then state election commission is also constituted under section 114 of the Panchayat Act of 1994. So, and then it is written in the first paragraph itself that the contract law is not applicable in autonomous district. Now, contract law is being operated here in autonomous district itself. But when we got it, we said we have got more power. Ada power ke kipian tu, kemudian more power di lama, lama. Ini tu kepusong loh, kepusong di hak. Lagi itu more ke sini loh. 1969 and in Ghana, so autonomous state law, more power sih nanti. Last road ini KSA president loh, hasil loh. Alam itu pulau Kongres tu more power sih nanti itu autonomous state yang ambil loh. Alam itu pulau, lagi nanti. Nanti apa loh kalau apa? Amat kuat itu. More power. Pemahal ada kopi lagi. Section paragraph 2 to paragraph 7 along. Break it along with the approval of governor to particular job. Hanya kami governor approval ada pindah itu dalam non governor approve PP itu governor itu law telah uji. Anda more power dari itu. Aja kau ikut itu, ikut more power telah. Lasi ini tu non sama apa ini lasi itu efisiensi itu governor itu fundamental power. Paragraph 2 to paragraph 7 in the law telah nanti lakukan vote istilah itu power. Lakukan vote istilah ke paragraph 20 lalu pulau ke tribal area. Lakukan si tribal itu ansi lakukan vote itu nanti. Lakukan para apa itu kita itu orang yang kita sama ini itu bom. Lakukan bom dan kok. Akhirnya lalu kita lakukan itu sikit power ke apa itu. Birdet, non high court dan kita tapi high court dan kita assembly yang tadi hulur dola salah, ketinggi, lapen affirmative minister Profulo Mohon tak pulau, labang Ethiopia sekitar 1951 affirmative itu kecil tu kan board waktu silong nanti anta alam ini dan deploy dulu. Latihan soal itu proper lagi ini juga hospital dan apa. Kupin ini itu power yang boleh. Lapen, ini tu indigenous pulau. Lu ada kelas indigenous apa tak problem dulu tak. Cuma tu si indigenous. Who is indigenous? This is the problem. All right, indigenous people have got the right, but who are indigenous in Northeast India? This is the problem. In order to the Brahmin people, in order to become indigenous, they created their own stories. They created their own stories and then they have said that Prabhuti school was there in Guwahati. Prabhuti school about 2000 years ago. That means if Prabhuti school is true, then the Brahmin people is more indigenous than the Parvi people. This is the meaning. And then if Kamakhya Devi was there, if Kamakhya Devi was there in Kamakhya, then also in more than 1,000 years. So they are more indigenous. That is why to find out who is indigenous, this is the problem. The word indigenous relates to time and space. Time and space. Kumantu lot lakan punak lot. Ini tu North East ke Assam ke Karbi itu si indigenous lot. Halai kuman mana tu Rabha, dia Rabha namanya. Vishnu Rabha pulau itu hello di Columbus of Assam. Ubadi itu pulau. Ada Columbus kan dia mana nak puan ke? Dan meaning apa kita lo itu hello RDS itu lo. RDS Amar Ami Karbi Amri division Birsing Kirpura Arambho kori up to Kepandam Adu lagi. What is the meaning of Pandu? It is a Karbi word. We cleared the area, the last point of clearing and cultivation of the area. That is Kepan Adu. Now the Brahmin people make it Pandam has come here. No? And then if it is Pandav had come, that means they are more indigenous than us. Is a problem. That is the reason who is indigenous is also very important to find out. For all the tribes people, we are all indigenous, yes. We are Mongolian people. It doesn't mean that we have come from Ulaanbaatar. It is not from Mongolia, but the land itself is Mongolian land. Assam, Kurs Bihar. What is this? What is the meaning of Kurs Bihar? Kurs means to wash, to purify. Kurs is a Sanskrit word. During conversion to Hinduism, they used to purify the people. How they purify? The system of purification is that they put cow dung on the top of the head. Cow dung. And then the Brahmin people, the Brahmin who conducted that ceremony, he washed his feet. And then water is made, that water is given to the person who is being converted to drink. And after drinking that dirty water, then it is declared that he is very pure. His cow dung is still on his head, but he said that he is very pure. He is very safa. Ku. The word ku, from the word ku, it comes into kush. And kush into kos. K-O-S, kos. And then in order to change our feature, they made us to marry with the Dome people, the low caste people. They made us marry with them. Our women were given in marriage to that lowest caste. Because according to the Brahmin people, we belong to the lowest caste. And so we are declared to be the lowest caste. That is the thing, and then they did it, and then they Kush Bihar, it is Bihar, Kush Bihar. Bihar means a place, Bihar. That is the people, those who have been washed. They were the Boro people and Garo people mostly. And some of them are from Bhutan. From Bhutan, there are many. Our Kardi people, large number, it is said, large number, maybe nearly 50% of Kardi people were converted. And so we become Ohomia. So, even though we are not Assamese, but we are Ohomia. Now, I thought that Assamese and Ohomia is the same word. But when I was DC in Guwahati, I was going to meet the governor. Governor called me, so I went there. Just in the front of governor's office, Dr. Bhupen Hazarika came out. And he said, "Oh, Mr. Kappa, to me, Ohomia karne sob koribo lage. Kintu Assamese karne ikko koribo nalage." Moi koise. তেতিয়া মই সারপ্রাইজ হলো কি কথা মই তো একে মানুহ বুলি ভাবিছিলো নহয় পিছত কম পালো নহয় এইটো Assamese is different. Assamese are those people who come from Kannauj, Orissa, Bengal, Bihar. They are Aryan people. Assamese are. And Ohomia are those who are post, who have been washed with cow dung. These are the people. I know about this thing because my father was also converted like that. My father's name was, after conversion, the name, everything used to be changed, including the dress. They used to be changed. So my father's name was Basai Tikatar. So on the day of conversion, he was converted and his name was given as Bongsidhor Methi. We were Methi. For some time, for 10 years, we were Methi. See, and after we had become Methi, my father wanted to go to the Gohai Ghor. Pratek Ghor, Ohomia, Assam, Gohai Ghor take. There is Gohai Ghor. So my father wanted to go and worship there. Because he is Qatar, he thought that now he is Methi, now he is higher than Qatar. He thought like that. And so he went to worship. And the Brahmin people, he pushed from backside. No, don't go. If you want to worship, I'll go and worship for you. You touch my body from backside. And if I do like this, you also do like that body. Then my father thought, I thought that I have gone far, I have climbed higher. Now I am lower than before. What is this? And so after 10 years, he became again Basa into the class. That is why I am Jayakata. Otherwise, I would have been maybe Jogendro Singh, something Das, or maybe Dick. I should have been like that. So this is what is happening to us. So the indigenous people have been converted. Now that is why Clause 6 of the Assam Accord has not been implemented, could not be implemented. Why? Because who is Assamese? It's difficult to say. Who is Assamese? If they know, of course, they know. Who is Assamese, they know. But if they say, then we will all become, all our eyes will be open. Huh? So they don't want to say. And so Clause 6 is not implemented. This is the thing. What is happening to us? So now I said Kamaikya. They said that Kamaikya, the blood used to, I have entered. The Kamaikya, the some Centurum also I have entered. Because I had to go with the President of India, Shankar Dayal Sharma. He wanted to go inside, so I also had to go as district magistrate with them. They put a big sutta here to me. Then they say that the blood, the menstruation blood of Kamaikya Devi used to flow. Used to flow through the cleft of the rock. But what is this? How can it be? Karbi people and Khasi people usually used to sacrifice goats, pigs, etc. on the higher level of that place. And so the blood of pigs used to flow through the clefts of the rock. And the Brahmin people made a story that is the blood of Kamaikya Devi. But it is actually the blood of pigs. By that, everybody thought that they are very original, older than us. Now they become indigenous, more indigenous than us. And if we go on like this indigenous, just indigenous like that, when all fun, everything comes from indigenous, we will not get anything. Because they are more indigenous than us. This is the position. Unless we must know our own history, and those fictitious stories, fables, etc. must be explained to everyone. And we must know all these things. Otherwise, if we say that Pragyatism in Guwahati, then we are lost. We are outsiders. We have become outsiders. Now, when I was in Pathankot, I intentionally asked my officer there, Mr. Sharma, he is managing director of Transport Corporation, Punjab. I asked him and I said like this, Pragyatis schools we have got in Guwahati. I said like this. Then he laughed. Pragyatis school in Guwahati. They laughed. Why they laughed? They said, no, there is no Pragyatis school in Guwahati. He said, then where is Pragyatis school? It is in Haryana, 50 kilometers from Chandigarh. Even now they have got Jyotish Mosque. Now they do not put the word Prag anymore. Because Prag, when it was Prag, the Aryan people were coming from the northwest. And in Haryana it became east for them. So they call it Prag. But now they have occupied more than that, so the word Prag has been left. Now it is Jyotish Mosque only there. But it is not in Guwahati. So, ninguém bom, não tem deu bom, além lá na ninguém English na ninguém masih na kini tu pelone pilone, ningarong itu the world's indigenous people's day, the observer of the Penelita, Havada, and UNO ta kidun. When I was in UNO kidun day, everyone they came with their own costume. The Hawaiian people, the king of Hawaii, is still there. When the king of Hawaii came, he came with his own headgear, crown, and then everybody quiet at that time. God do it in summary. Ni tu puan muni ke on hai. Kalau dah UNO. In summary ni lihat Red Indian tu masih ini rapat. Amerika Red Indian tu masih. Kalau dah hadi abang Putin dah Amerika tam Jerman sih cewang pada Amerika. Apu tu pen hala war rate pe kai war rate pe ni hadi. Kopi pila ne terang rate pe ni hadi. Son masih ada tu UFO lo. Dan ni tu ke Jepun pe ni mah. Necktie di kachetong pina. Setelah tu bang ke son. Setelah kita aja tu seton ya ke ong tu son. Aja tu man ke lagi lah formal dress itu. Kalau soal ni. Lasi kalau data ini tu pan amanan piu. Lapen non ke do anda pemani jimbar cik kusi ini tu mana perlu kas sistem pedolong le sreni ya pangtui pangdei lo son pedolong le kusi ini tu pan biar deh. Langsung ni jesi ni nang kadu mata suruh sini langsung tolong kata.